That's when I know if I'm gonna use this guy.
In our age group, like, how are you still on your L's? I'm so sorry.
Why all of a sudden we're these species?
Cause you know a big poppin'. I'm a hot girl, so you know when shit's poppin'. Got a whole lot of options, cause you know a bitch poppin'. Hey, I'm a hot girl, so you know when shit's poppin'. I'm a hot girl, so you know when shit's poppin'.
We probably shouldn't be holding this at the start, but it is what it is.
Okay. We'll just like pour it, right? Because we'll like edit it, like, yeah, and then we'll take the shot and then start.
Yeah. Small enough for you guys.
Are you taking a shot, Lubin?
Yes, he is.
Let's get it.
And then next minute the video is like.
Oh, are you joking? Why am I?
This girl casually had a bottle of vodka in her closet. She said we're drinking soju.
I know. You see, I was meant to get soju today, but then like, you know, I forgot. Yeah.
Cheers. Oh gosh.
That wasn't bad.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Keep in mind we have not eaten.
We have not eaten
So
today.
let's hope we get through this video.
It's burning my stomach. It's fine.
Okay.
He's like, hey.
Ishel, don't make me nervous when she starts laughing.
No, I'm just a laughy person.
Hi guys, it's your girl Virginia.
And it's your girl, Island Girl Shelly.
And welcome to our very first episode on our new channel.
And finally, we actually started it.
We finally got to it and we're so happy to be doing this together.
Honestly. And so we're going to start off with getting to know each other because, you know, you don't know us.
And we're going to be discussing and ranking our eggs, what gets us pressed. And lastly, we're just going to answer a few dilemmas and yeah. And so, first impressions.
First impressions.
Like, what was your first impression of me?
With you? Honestly, let me think about it. Do you have an idea of yours?
I don't know because I don't know how people like perceive me in high school. Some people, I don't know. I don't really know.
Oh my God, I swear nobody had a good impression of me, first impression of me. Every time I ask someone and then they say their first impression of me, I'm like,
please don't do that.
Anyways, like I think with you, I could tell that you were very smart and you were very like, when I think back, you were very, I would say serious. I would think of you as serious, like you were on top of everything, you were smart and like you weren't into drama. That's what I realized. She's never been in any drama. Like I've never heard Virginia's name in any sort of drama. That's what I realized.
Really?
Yeah, like nothing big, right?
No, I don't think I had like any scandals in high school.
You didn't have any scandals.
But then like when you told me about like your first experience at school, and I felt like it was more like other people than to do with you.
Yeah.
Like it's like not like you were the problem.
Honestly, I feel like people drag my name.
Yeah.
And also I think I was too blunt when I was new.
I think people were intimidated by you, like, and they just, I don't know. But when I first like saw you like new, I was like, oh yeah, like she's so pretty, you know, she's that girl. But I was like, I didn't know if we'd be like friends because we were like in different circles. But like once we met and like our personalities gelled and like the rest was history.
Meant to be.
Now we're gonna be ranking our eggs. So we have 5 that we're gonna talk about.
Yeah.
So
5 that we actually added.
to the list. Can go on. It can go on, but you know, just for the sake of this video. So we have guys who don't drive. I don't know, like who don't have a car or who don't drive.
Yes. Yeah, like if you don't, like here's the thing, right? I get if you have like serious mental like health issues that kind of stops you, that's different. But if you're just like plain old like lazy and you don't get your license, you have no excuse for that.
It's
like, come on, you're a grown man.
We're turning 21. like in our age group, like how are you still on your L's? I'm so sorry. And so if we're like, say we're going out, like how am I driving us like all the time? Like, do you not feel bad? Like, please. You're not embarrassed? Like, guys, this is your sign to get your license.
This is your
please.
sign to get your license, okay? Usually I don't judge. I don't really care. If you're my friend, I don't care. But if you're not my friend, and if I'm getting to know you and you don't have your license, then that's an issue. If you're my friend, that's chill. But
Does it matter if it's a guy you're seeing? Like, would you be fine dating a guy who doesn't drive?
Oh, fuck no. No.
I feel like
I'm not your mum.
I don't need to like teach you how to
Exactly.
behave. Like, you know, yeah, we should help each other, like grow, like motivate each other and stuff. But like, there should be like basic things that I don't want to say bring to the table. That's a whole nother discussion.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
it's a basic necessity. In my head is that everything we say is things we already have.
yeah.
So we have our license.
So it's not
like,
bad to expect that as well from someone that you want to date. Yeah.
Because like you want something that's equal.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know, I take care of my car. We pay for our car. We
Yeah.
manage it. So we want someone who can do the same. You know what? I feel bad, but like at the same time,
Just
come on,
like-
like we're the same age. If my car looks fine, then why can't yours be the same? If you're older and you don't have a proper like, I'm not saying you need the best car in the world. I don't care what your car is. I don't even understand cars. Like I actually don't know what car you have, what brand it is. But if it just looks clean, then it's like,
Yeah.
that's fine.
We're trying to be passenger seat princesses.
Exactly.
Sorry. And next, when they're too close with their female friends or their
Ooh.
male friends.
You see, like, I know, like, sometimes it's harder to say because I can be a hypocrite.
Yeah, I mean, like, we have guy friends, but I feel like it's like the boundary that you have with your friendships. And like,
Yes.
how is your female friend with you 24/7? How is she comfortable calling you 24/7?
24/7.
Like, actually, like, I'm the type of person, like, I agree. Like, if they had that friendship before they met you, then it's like fine. But like,
Yeah, with
friendships
boundaries.
change. Exactly. Like, if you get in a relationship, then you understand that I need to like maintain this distance, like as long as like making your partner feel comfortable
Yeah.
in your relationship, and yeah, just acknowledging their concerns as well.
Exactly. But like the so-called female best friends I've seen, it's been
If he whines with her, like if he
that's
catches a wine at the club,
true.
like that's not fair. I'm so sorry.
That's what it is.
Imagine like someone being like, "Is that your man?" Like,
Is that your man?
Embarrassing. Stop. Men will
That's when
embarrass
you
you.
know that's the boundary that doesn't exist.
Then next, we have people who switch up in front of their friends. Like, you act different, like, when I'm there, whereas, like, talking behind, like, my back kind of thing. Like, what you say when I'm not around, I feel like that says a lot about a friendship, about a person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I had a recent experience.
Mm.
I'm not gonna name and shame.
Yeah.
Because I instead of someone else, I respect the friendship that I had.
Just, like, to give an example, like, say you guys both like a guy and just, like, making you look bad to kind of
In
get
front
the
of
guy.
him. To
Yeah.
get the guy, I don't really like that.
Yeah, like, ladies, let's not fight over a man.
Let's not
Like,
fight.
please.
Because at the same time, if he's juggling you too, and if he's not making it clear, no, I want you only, I don't give a fuck about her, then he's not the one. He's not the one. At the same time, your girl, she means like, you know, your friend.
Yeah.
She means more to me than like this guy I don't even know yet.
Men will not leave their friends for like a girl. Like so ladies, let's not do
Let's, ladies.
you know.
Get your shit together. Your friend, why would you do that to your friend? Like, so that recently happened to me. I wasn't into the guy, but like, unfortunately, my friend, she was talking about me not in the best way to the guy, and then I caught her firsthand. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
Some tea there.
Just some tea there.
And then we have the males who, sorry, I just did the same thing. No, we have guys who refer to women as females or species. Let's get into it because we have names like.
Exactly, we have names. Why all of a sudden we're these species?
crack or what? It's like, I feel like you should just come correct. Like, how are you gonna be like saying this, like, female when you're trying to describe a girl?
Exactly.
And I feel like guys who refer to like their girls as like, oh, like my bitch.
My
I don't
bitch.
know. I feel like I personally wouldn't.
No,
I don't like
feel
that.
like
That
it's-
gives me the ick.
Yeah, because it's honestly, it's like they're belittling you.
Yeah. It's just been so normalized for like us to degrade each other
Yeah.
and like to bring each other down. And I feel like we should focus on like, I don't
Bring
know.
each other up, like like, it's not like equality, it's just respect. Like,
We
why
don't
are you
need
bitches,
any more red
these
pillist,
things?
Andrew Tate
Yeah.
mentalities this year. Let's leave that in
What is with that?
2022.
Like, honestly, if you believe everything Andrew Tate is saying, you're actually dumb.
It
Like,
won't even be feeding into his popularity. Like, that's
No.
all even mention of his name.
every girl that's dating him, it's for money.
I feel like the things that he says is mainly for publicity and just to get that
Yeah, 100%.
attention circulating around him. Don't generally think he believes that because, like, come on, like, you must have like some conscious.
Think about it. You post things online. You don't post everything. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think anyone knows anything about our family or anything like that because we don't post it. So I'm sure he could have things that he had that he didn't post. Like,
And lastly, when he splits on the first date, is that
oh, see, here's the thing with that. On the first date, that's when I know if I'm gonna use this guy for attention, you know, just for my ego, or if I actually want something with him long term. Okay? I feel like it's just human nature for the woman to just want to feel like they can be taken care of by a man. But in this time of age, we can do it for ourselves. Don't get me wrong. It's the traditional way.
It's
that's
nice having
more
someone
attractive.
do that for you.
Yeah, it's just an attraction thing. It's not like we can't do it because for the first date, I will always like, whether it's dinner, whatever, I'll go. And then when it's time to pay, I'll be like, no, let's split. I'll always offer because I think I feel guilty if I don't offer because I feel like, you know, it's not fair, but at the same time.
Like, you know when you're like, but you don't really
I'll
like,
be like,
I'll look for it in my bag. About how long it takes me to find the card.
Exactly. And then if I get to it,
And you still haven't stopped me. Nah.
If you haven't used your so-called male strength to pull me back, you are cut. Okay?
But I feel like it's like, especially if he's the one who came up with the idea to take you out.
Yes.
Then I feel like that's when, like, especially he should pay for the first date.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying like every day he has to pay. No.
Yeah,
like,
just the first day.
First date is about impressing
First
each other.
impressions matter.
And like, I feel like eventually, like on the second date, I'm most likely going to pay for the second date because that's just, I want to be equal. I'm not saying I don't want it, but the first date, it just shows your character.
Like, nah, girl, you gonna pay for this? Well,
Yeah.
Do you think like relationships are 50-50 nowadays? Like,
I think it's too 50-50 to a point where I feel like I don't know if it's good.
I feel like 50-50 like that doesn't work when you're in a relationship because imagine you're always like, oh, did you pay me back for this? Like splitting the bill all the time and being like one person, like you're doing it to oe each other rather than like as a favor to someone.
Exactly.
So it kind of gets like twisted up and like, so I feel like 50-50 doesn't work in the long run.
It doesn't work in the long run. Obviously, for me personally, like I've never been in a serious relationship, so I don't know how it works. From what I've heard from like people that I know who've been in relationships, they actually apparently create an account, and they both they're not married yet, but they put money in that account, and then they use that account to pay for whatever the fuck they're doing. And then that's like, I guess that's fair. In this time of age, unfortunately, the man is not breadwinning. Okay, the man's not
Damn,
breadwinning.
the guys
female, we're doing it just as good as you.
I know about the joint accounts. I don't know what y'all be doing.
Because you're in a relationship, so
yeah, we don't.
You tell me yours.
We don't have a joint account, but I just feel like
that's necessary.
yeah.
I feel like that's only necessary once you have like a family, you get a house together, you have like,
Yeah.
you know, bills, mortgage, kids, like, you
Later
know,
on in
that's
life.
later on. Like when you're like still in this stage. Actually, this stage, there are people getting married. Like
The
what's
pressure is
the-
getting
what's
worse. Okay, so how would you rank that order from worst
Okay.
to... I would say my worst ick is when they switch up in front of their friends, because I feel like how someone represents you and perceives you in front of other people is so important, and like that trust, like you trusting someone to like have your back.
Yeah.
And if you can't do that, what
Yeah.
do we have, you
Yeah.
know? And then second, I would say
Yeah.
when they're too close to like their female friends, like there's no boundary between, like you're not helping us to establish that trust between us.
Yeah.
And like you're trying to worsen like someone's insecurity, like
Yeah,
that
exactly.
someone can be insecure
Yeah.
about that type
Yeah.
of thing. Third, I would say guys or girls who don't drive or have their license. I'm sorry, guys. Please, I'm sorry, my friends who don't have their license. And then fourth is when he refers to women as females, and then when he splits on the first date.
I see. Because I feel like, I think my first ick, because this is an ick, right? So I feel like I think there are certain aspects where I should change my mindset, because maybe I don't have a healthy mindset, I don't know. But my first ick would probably be having a guy with too many female friends, with unhealthy boundaries.
Yeah.
Because for me, I don't know, I feel like I've grown up in a way where, I don't know, I've just always liked a guy's guy. That's just what I'm attracted to. And then when I see a guy with like too many female friends, it's not because he looks disgusting to me, but it's because I feel insecure. And I don't feel like secure enough for him to have so many like...
And that's fair enough, you know.
I don't like that.
The worst thing would be like getting DM'd by another girl, imagine, and being like, is this your man? Come and get your man. I'm
Exactly,
so
like,
sorry.
You don't want to get that. Or
Yeah.
like that female friend who's like, basically, you, as a girl, you can tell when another girl is in love with that guy. And the second, I would say, when he switches up in front of friends. Because I feel like we live in a day and age where the guy wants to impress his boys more than his girl.
Let's get into it.
like, honey, like, are you switching sides, Loki?
How
like,
do you
are
care
actually-
how do you care more about what your friends think than what I think in
Yeah,
our relationship?
like, at the end of the day, those guys, think about it, in the future, they're all gonna get married or they're gonna end up alone, like, you don't know, but they're not gonna give a fuck about what you do. They're not. Like, they're gonna have their own family, they're gonna have their own life to take care of. They won't give a fuck about you.
Okay, so we're gonna move on and we're gonna answer some of your dilemmas
Your dilemmas.
that you've sent us.
Yes.
And give our advice. I mean, we're unlicensed psychologists, so
I'm not your therapist. This isn't therapy. You're just telling.
You are such a...
so you're in safe hands.
Yes.
Don't worry. Okay.
Keep in mind, it's only our opinions.
Yeah,
And
you
like,
know, take it or leave it as you.
leave it. That's
as
your
you-
problem.
Okay, so the first one is, these are like short and simple, but I want him back. Yeah, I truly believe, like, would you get back with an ex?
I don't have an ex.
Anyway.
I don't have an ex.
But say you were like seeing a guy and like you guys broke up, but do you think you would get back with him?
Would I get back with him? No, personally, I feel like when I cut someone off emotionally, it's done. Like, for me, like with anyone. So usually if he's my ex, I most likely have emotionally cut him off, and I don't think I care about him enough to actually like want him back.
And you know, like when you say that, people are always like, why do girls, like, they're like, how did she move on so fast? But I feel like girls emotionally like withdraw themselves from a relationship. Like for a girl to end things, it will literally
Take a lot,
be
man.
so deep. Like she would have thought that, like
Yeah.
tried everything she could, exhausted all options.
Exactly.
So like just
Yeah.
know when it's over, when she's silent. I feel like that's concerning. Like
That's
than when she's
silent.
actually
Yeah. if she's actually like wanting to fight for the relationship,
Yeah.
that means she still loves you. But like, if she is silent, oh, that means she is gone. Like she is tired.
She's come to
is
terms
over.
with leaving
Yeah.
you. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
She's ready to
sorry,
leave you. Okay.
you don't have a chance. So getting back with an ex, like if it's cheating, gone. If
Yeah.
it's like, I'm sorry, if you cheated,
Blocked,
you're gone. Like, I'm sorry.
deleted.
Unless you want me to stay and do the same, like,
I wanna go.
that's just not gonna
Yeah.
work. That's gone. If he has physical, like, you know, anything serious, like actually, like physically, like, then like, you know, like, then that's also gone. Okay. I feel like in this world, don't get back with an ex. He's ex for a reason, and I also believe that when you take someone out of your life, you're making room for someone else to come in.
I believe that like you're blocking your blessings when you keep
Yes.
allowing toxic people
Yes.
to continue to take up that space that can be there for someone else.
Yeah.
And I feel like us girls, we always like have that thing like, can I find better?
Someone
like what will
better,
like we're scared to be
yeah.
alone. We need to like be comfortable being alone and just like improving ourselves. And I feel like that's when we'll find that next thing for us that's meant for us.
Exactly.
Yeah, I also agree. I would not take an ex back because I feel like once that love is gone, like, what do you mean we're gonna go through that all over again?
Yes.
And I know as hard as it is, like starting over, like, do you know the talking stage?
Oh.
Like, I don't wanna, you know, like talking about my favorite color, like the what are you doing? I
What are
hate
you
small
doing
talk.
today?
That's what
Yeah,
we should
exactly.
focus
Except
on doing.
for Stormzy and Maya Jama. I gotta
Let's talk
laugh,
about it.
gotta
Okay.
laugh. You know, because you know, did Stormzy actually cheat? That's the question.
I think
for
he
me.
did. And
he
the thing
actually
is,
cheat?
Maya is that girl. Like, you know what? The thing about cheating, it's like we think like because someone's so attractive, like we've seen it in multiple like celebrities. Like, it doesn't matter how attractive you are, like your personality, how much money you have. Like, if a man wants to cheat, like there's nothing stopping him. So it just depends on that mentality. And like, if you have like if there's something wrong with your relationship, either fix it, put time in that, or just end the relationship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And you know what gets me? They will always want to come back. Stop. Stop.
Oh, funny.
But we're not
With the
waiting
hide and
around.
seek songs, honey.
Okay,
She's
but that was
living
a good
It was
song.
cute. See, that's the thing, right? Because if he cheated, Maya Jama, don't take him back.
No, but you know what? I wouldn't be mad. I'm so sorry. I'm
That's
so
like
sorry.
me with Chris Brown and Rihanna because I know it's so bad, like it's so toxic, like oh my
But
god.
she's
like,
with ASAP. I don't know.
I don't like ASAP. He's crusty.
That was sweet of you.
I feel like the way that
They
ASAP
look
Rocky.
like mum and son. For me, I look at them, they look like mum and son. Like,
But I
it's
feel like
just
the way
so-
he treats her, like it's just so nice to see. Like,
Yeah, no. Healthy wise, they're good together.
Yeah.
This is just my fantasy world.
Our second dilemma.
He is not ready for commitment. She brought this to me for a reason.
I got commitment issues, but I'm trying to fix that for you.
So he's not ready for a commitment.
This one, let's dive into it.
Let's dive.
I feel like this is a lot of the mentality of guys in our age group. Like, they're not ready to settle down. They still want to explore their options, and that's just kind of like what we've gone to. And like this phrase, I'm just not ready for a relationship. I'm so sorry. He's just saying he's not ready for one with you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I feel like there's no way you can meet the right person. Like, you know that this girl is what you want, and then be able to like pass that down and be like, to not be able to change to like, you know,
Like basically just do everything you can to actually have her.
to be with that
to
girl.
be with her, because if she means a lot to you, then like, you know, you're like, you know what, I want her to be mine. I want to make sure that no other guy or touch her, go near her, no, none of that. You know what they say online, like if he wants to, he would. Like,
If he wanted to, he would. And ladies, this is not Bob the Builder. This is not Build a Man. We're
Build
not
a
like,
man.
we're not these boys' mothers. Like, we don't need to be teaching someone how to act, how to
Yeah.
behave. I feel like when a guy is telling you that, like, it's a sign. Like, you know, sometimes these things we like take it as rejection, but it's not always about us. Like, sometimes it's, you know, that person, what they're dealing with internally, and we shouldn't like deflect that onto ourselves.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know.
No, that is true.
Yeah. You can never predict it. Like we have all these like expectations for ourselves, but we never know what will happen.
Not realistic
So,
at
like,
all.
yeah.
Because I'm turning 21 this year. I'm not even whatever. And then me expecting to get married at 25, that's like in 4 years. How's that gonna work? How can I meet someone, actually get to know them, and actually like know them, and then get married to them in 4 years? That's like really not possible.
Remember that like Netflix show? I don't know if you've watched. It was like called The Ultimatum. So like the woman or the man would like take their partner there, and they'll be like, I want you to propose to me, but you're not ready to. And then they swap partners, and I'm like, what's the purpose of that? Like
What is the purpose?
And then they wanted to see if they could live without their partner, and if they'd be ready to propose
disgusting.
by the end of that.
Yeah.
Imagine like bringing your partner there for him to fall in love with another person. Sorry.
That's
Imagine.
so sad for my soul. You know what they say? I don't know if you heard of this saying. For a guy, it doesn't matter who the girl is. If they're ready, like so they're financially ready, they got their house, they got their everything, they will wife anything that is ready. Okay, it doesn't matter if she has a brain, if she is pretty, if she is.
They will like. It's only when they're ready and like how it will be convenient for them.
Yeah,
at that
how
time.
convenient, how easy.
We need to like stop putting pressure on ourselves. Like if a guy's just not ready for you, then just accept it as what it is.
What it is.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's you that's the issue. I think they're mentally just not ready. They're not ready. Like it's not saying you're not the right person. However, there can be times where even I'm like, I won't commit to a guy who I actually don't like, and I tend to drag it more, that situationship, when I feel like, oh, I see red flags in him. I'll extend the time of
Anything but cutting it off.
anything but cutting it off, because in the back of your mind you're like, oh, maybe it has a chance. Like, you
How
know,
green can these red flags get?
Yeah.
You know, maybe do some
Can
tie dye.
they like no, it doesn't happen that way, but in my head, because I'm just like them.
How red can these flags get? Anyways, our last dilemma, he cares too much about what his boys think. I feel like we kind of discussed it earlier, but just like rephrasing it, like when his boys have like too much of an influence into his decisions, his thoughts, he's always like thinking like, how will they perceive him? Like, you know,
Yeah,
you should be able to be your own person in a friendship. Yeah.
You should be like, you shouldn't have to like always want their validation.
Yes.
Because I feel like guys always want their boys. See, that's boys' validation. See, that's the thing. I say I like a guy's guy, but it gets to a point where that's all they know is their boys. Like they don't know how to talk to a girl. They don't know how to treat a girl because they've been with their boys. That's something I've noticed. Guys who have like more female friends versus a guy who has more male friends, they treat you differently. It's like female friends and like male friends, they know how to treat a woman. They actually do. Like on dates, you just feel the difference. Whereas a guy who has mostly male friends, it's like they don't know what to do. You know, one thing, a guy, like I know I have strict parents. Unless I tell you, drop me, drive. If you drop me and you don't wait until I get inside,
That's actually an ick.
that is.
I'm like, so you don't care about me? So what if I was murdered?
What
What if
if
someone just like...
There was someone who is following me and was waiting for me.
And what about like not that text, like did you get home safe?
Did you get home safe?
I'm sorry, but we need to like cherish our friends, like our partners who like text like, did you get home safe?
Safe.
Like, nah, like messages like that, like it really means a lot.
It means so much. That guy, you just like, how can you like not check if it's like you're with her, that's all that matters, and then she's gone.
Who hurt you? Who hurt you?
What?
Out of sight, out of mind.
Like that just doesn't feel right. So honestly, that's an immediate like red flag. That is a red flag for me.
It is.
And then that's why once again I drag it, because I'm like, why don't you know that you should wait until the girl gets it?
And thank you guys for tuning in to our very first video.
Thank you.
Don't forget to like, comment, and
Subscribe.
yes, and click on the notification buttons to know every time we upload, and we'll give you guys another video very soon.
Bye.